Greetings, true believers, and welcome to another mystical episode of History of the Marvel Universe. This week's story begins 1,000 years ago with a Tibetan monk known as Khan. While his order was a peaceful one, Khan often walked the path of a warrior, taking up arms when the cause was just. He also studied the ways of mysticism, and while he was no mage, he used what he'd learned as a healer and a teacher. One day on the mountains, Khan observed a strange light coming from a nearby temple, which his walking companion purported to be haunted. Investigating further, the warrior monk entered the old temple to find a strange black mirror. Although he sensed evil in the temple, he felt drawn to the mirror. And as he reached out to touch its ebony surface, Khan was pulled through the mirror itself, emerging in another dimension called Kai Chek. There, through the blackened looking glass, were three figures. There was Prince Jahan, ruler of the land of Siradar, his beloved sister, Princess Xialmar, and their servant, the sorcerer Wong. The three explained that their world had been conquered by an order of wizard kings, and that they longed to free humanity from their oppressive rule. Wong had used his own magic to scan the multiverse for a warrior capable of aiding them in their struggle, and that spell was what drew Khan to them. Khan was naturally hesitant to jump into the otherworldly conflict, but while he stayed to listen to their case, he and the princess began to grow close. The wise monk could see that the young Prince Jahan saw battle as something glorious and exciting, whereas Khan had already experienced the horrors of war firsthand. However, his decision changed when he and Xialmar were attacked by a winged demon. The princess explained that the demon was a servant of the wizard kings, and that one such creature was responsible for the death of her parents. Fortunately, Khan was armed with a throwing star coated in a sacred silver and was able to dispatch the creature. Khan knew that none who allied themselves with such a being could be anything other than evil, and so he agreed to join the battle against the wizard kings. But unbeknownst to all, it was not the Wizard Kings who had conjured the creature, but the sorcerer Wong. In truth, Wong was a servant of the Nagarai, an ancient and evil race of demons created by the elder god Cathan. And because of Wong's manipulations, Khan, Jahan, and Xialmar waged a bloody war against the forces of the Wizard Kings. Over the course of the war, a romance bloomed between Xialmar and Khan. Soon the two became lovers. The fighting eventually came to the king's ancestral home, where Khan offered them a final chance to surrender. When the wizards refused, their city of light was burned to the ground. Watching from on high, Khan felt sorrow and regret as men, women, and children alike perished in the blazing inferno. It was then that Wong struck. With the Wizard Kings dead, he had his opportunity to claim all of Kai Chek in the name the Nagarai. As the final part of his scheme, the twisted sorcerer intended to offer Khan, Xialmar, and Jahan as blood sacrifices to his dark masters, in exchange for ultimate power. But before he could begin, Princess Xialmar made a counteroffer to the demons. She declared that she would give up the soul of a loved one and her eternal loyalty in exchange for the power to defeat Wong. The demons agreed, and the princess was transformed into the evil Shadow Queen. With her newfound power, she easily bested Wong and ended his treacherous life. Khan prepared himself to be the Shadow Queen's next victim, expecting her to fulfill her promise to her new overlords. However, much to Khan's surprise, Xialmar turned her power on her own brother, killing him and turning his soul over to the Nagarai. The next he knew, Khan found himself back on Earth on the other side of the Black Mirror, unable to return to Kai Chek. Horrified by the consequences of his mistakes, Khan returned to the life of a monk. Seeking to atone for his actions, he dedicated himself to aiding those who used magic and mysticism as a force for good. He passed this mission on to his firstborn son, as well as the story of Kai Chek, who in turn passed it on to his own son, and onward down through the generations. And so, centuries later, Khan's descendant, Hamir, found himself in the service of Earth's Sorcerer Supreme, the Ancient One. And at only 4 years old, Hamir's son Wong also entered into that life. Raised in the community of mystics Kamar Taj, Wong grew up reading legends of magic and monsters. With a life of dedication, the boy grew into a warrior monk much like his forefathers before him. He became an expert martial artist, a proficient stick fighter, and a skilled herbalist. While not truly a mage, Wong is well versed in various incantations and the use of magical talismans required to most effectively perform his duties. When he was ready, Wong was assigned to assist and caretake for Dr. Stephen Strange, the Ancient One's successor and the next destined Sorcerer Supreme. Although Wong filled the role of a servant, he and Strange quickly became friends and allies in the ongoing war against evil forces. While Strange was the master of the mystic arts, Wong would often train him in the martial, to keep him in proper physical condition. Far more than a simple manservant, it is because of Wong that Dr. Strange is able to do what he does. And this leaves us with one question: whatever became of the Shadow Queen? Well, because of her deal with the Nagarai, Shialamar was able to persist throughout the centuries without aging, a dark reflection of her previous self. Sometime later, Wong was captured by agents of the Nagarai and brought back to Kai Chek. His absence did not go unnoticed, and he was soon pursued and rescued by Dr. Strange. However, this was all part of a plot by the Shadow Queen to lure out the last surviving descendant of the Wizard Kings. Sure enough, when Strange and Wong allied themselves with the wizard, a man known as Silver Fox, Shialamar appeared intending to slay him. This resulted in a battle between Dr. Strange and the Shadow Queen. While Shialamar's demonic power appeared to give her an edge over the Earth Sorcerer Supreme, Wong was able to strike her with an arrow. While this served only as a temporary distraction, Strange was able to take advantage of it, exorcising the demonic energy from the Shadow Queen and restoring her to her original self. Human once more, Shialamar's injuries became fatal, and while Dr. Strange suspected he could help her, the woman refused, unable to live with the memories of all she had done. And thus marked the end of the reign of the Shadow Queen, her soul set free by the descendant of the man she had once loved. Hey, that's all I've got for you this week, but thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe for more marvelous content. Be sure to leave a comment letting me know what Marvel hero or villain you want to hear about next, and as always, the issues referenced in this video are listed in the description below if you would like to read them for yourself, as well as links to other places you can find me, including my Patreon page, where for only $1 a month you can get your name in these special thanks here. So until next time, true believers, Excelsior!